Hi, my name is Curtis Carter, and I'll be presenting the SAP Business ByDesign Product Matrix demonstration. This is an add-on solution provided by Bramasol. First, I'll discuss the business use cases for the Product Matrix add-on, and then we'll dive into the demonstration, starting with the generation of the Product Matrix. And then we'll talk about how to create price lists, modifying attributes for the Product Matrix, and we'll do this using bulk modification techniques. We'll use mass updates in the system, and we'll also use Excel uploads. And then finally, we'll create some sales orders for the product matrix and also some purchase orders for items in the product matrix. Some business use cases include retail, POS, and also various manufacturing scenarios. In the retail case, we can create the matrix of products that you purchase from the vendor for various, for example, merchandise like jerseys. And these can be also used, of course, on your sales orders to your customers. Anytime you have point of sale integrations, this also becomes a good business use case because of the wide variety of items that are sold through your point of sale system. This is especially useful if you track inventory in Business ByDesign, since you'll need to maintain those materials in Business ByDesign to do so. And finally, we'll discuss some applications of manufacturing. Different screws of different sizes can be maintained as one product matrix, making the maintenance of those products much easier. We can also apply the product matrix to finished assemblies if there are many different makes and models that become a finished assembly. The solution benefits are mainly centered around the reduced maintenance required for maintaining the products in the system. You also see that you can leverage the product matrix for various standard processes like purchasing and sales orders. This is integrated with the complete ERP solution, meaning that the product matrix generator was developed as a solution extension. It is on top of the same cloud platform as the rest of the solution, so we have access to the objects in the system, for example, purchase orders, sales orders, and any other object that may be useful in combination with the product matrix. We also use some standard functionality like product models to define the properties of this product matrix. Because it's truly integrated with the ERP solution, built using the SAP ByDesign Studio, the SDK for ByDesign, we can also leverage built-in reporting capabilities. For example, we can look at the inventory by SKU. This also is an easy-to-deploy application via the SAP Store. Much like you would deploy an app on your iPhone, we would deploy it automatically through the SAP Store to your ByDesign system. And last, this is an affordable add-on priced at $99 per user per month, which is a low-cost license for whoever needs to maintain the product matrix. So first, let's start with generating the product matrix. The first step is to create a template material, and to do that for a particular product category to make the management of the product matrix a little bit easier when we select it in the later processes. Then we're going to create the properties and values in a product model. And then finally, we're going to use that template material that's associated with that product model to generate the product matrix using our add-on. And so here's the product matrix work center. And you can see every time we generate a product matrix, it's documented with a particular ID that becomes the base of the material IDs in the product matrix. Before we create the product matrix, we're going to first create the product category. And for this example, we will pick a type of t-shirt. So we'll create a new product category under the shirts product category. We'll make this the 430 category. And we'll pretend that we're dealing with soccer shirts. We may sell merchandise for a professional soccer team, and so we may sell some t-shirts with the soccer team's logo on it. Okay, next we're going to create a new material. Notice I'm using a common task which we've put in the Product Matrix Work Center for your convenience. We call it the T430 as the base product ID. And we're going to use the product category 430, the one we just created for soccer shirts. And we'll just call this template material. Soccer shirt template material. In fact, we'll just call it the soccer shirt to keep things simple. Next, we'll define the various attributes. We're going to activate purchasing for this material so that all the items in the product matrix can be purchased. Likewise, we're going to activate the sales for a particular sales organization. And the item group is a normal material. Now the purchasing and sales areas we can activate, and all products underneath will be activated in the current release of the product matrix generator. All the other areas will copy over but won't necessarily be activated. So for example, the valuation, we can add it for a company. We'll select the count determination group so we know which GL count the costs are posting to, and the standard cost method. Now if we activate this in the template material, in the current release we'll have to activate it with a mass update. In future releases this will be activated automatically, as well as the logistics, planning, and availability confirmation sections of the template material. Okay, the next step is to create the product model. Again, we're going to use a common task to some standard functionality in Business by Design. Call this the T430 product model for the soccer shirts. And we're going to assign the template material to this product model. Now we define all the properties, for example, the size, color, and fit. I've predefined some of these, such as the size, color, and also, in this example, we're going to include the players' names, because that's going to be printed on the back of the t-shirt. Now if we wanted to create a new product, you could right from the screen, clicking on the new button. These have values assigned to them already, and we can pick a subset for this particular product matrix. Say this shirt doesn't have an extra small and doesn't have a double XL. We're just going to go with small, medium, large, and extra large. For the color, we'll also select just a few colors. So the shirt will come in white, black, and red. So now we've got 4 sizes and 3 colors. And that gives it a total of 12 different products in matrix right now without the player. So finally, we will select all the different players that are going to be part of this product matrix. And we see there's 4 players. So we'll just keep all of the players. So now that's 12 times 4, that's 48 materials that are part of the product matrix. Now each one of these properties has a set of codes that we've defined. And so we see the property value extra small has a code XS. And when we create these, we can in fact specify this code. The importance behind this is that that code actually becomes part of the product ID that's generated when you generate the product matrix. Okay, so now we've got a product model which will be responsible for generating 48 products once we generate the product matrix. So the final step is to use our add-on to generate this product matrix. So call this the T430. Now that is the base product ID for all of our generated products. We'll select the template material, the soccer shirt, and that brings over the description and all the properties associated to it. And we see the 4 sizes, the 3 colors, and the 4 players. So that should generate a total of 48 products. Now we can actually remove any one of these if we want to after we've created the product model. But in this case, we're going to keep everything to create the 48 products. So now we'll go ahead and generate the products. And the performance is actually quite good considering there's 48 products created. This is much faster than you can possibly create these manually, one by one. With 48 products, it typically takes under half a minute. And everything is going to be created in this transaction, but not necessarily saved to the system. And the importance behind that is that we can remove some products that aren't necessarily a part of the product category. If not all 48 products are going to be real products, we can actually remove those before we save. So now we see all the 48 products. And in this case, we're going to keep all combinations. Notice that the product ID contains the T430 and all the codes I referred to earlier that refer to all the possible values and combinations. So SM for small, WT for white, and 22 for the player Johnson. So now we'll go ahead and save those, and that's going to commit it to the Business ByDesign database, so the products will be permanently stored in the database with these IDs. And in subsequent transactions, we can actually modify this product matrix as a whole rather than going in one by one. Right now in the current release, we're going to be using mass updates and Excel upload tools to maintain this product matrix. But in future releases, we'll make that process even easier and more efficient by containing attributes such as price and cost in the product matrix. Okay, so now the products have been committed to the Business ByDesign database of products. And now we can open up one of the newly created products to verify everything was created successfully. So we're going to go to the Materials view, which we've added for your convenience to the Product Matrix Work Center. And we're going to select all the products that are in this category for soccer shirts. And there they are. So we've picked this first one, the large black one for player 22. We can see that the purchasing has been activated. The sales has been copied and activated with all the correct attributes. And the valuation has been copied but not necessarily activated. And so we're going to talk about how to do that with a mass update. So what we did was we created a product category and created a template material assigned to that product category. Then we created a product model that has all the properties and values that are possible for this product matrix. In this case, size, color, and the player. Finally, we generated the product matrix with all possible combinations. And as you can see, it's using the existing Business ByDesign user interface. It's built using the SAP Business ByDesign Studio so that we have access to all the objects in the back end of Business ByDesign. For example, product models and anything else that could be useful to use in combination with the product matrix. Because of this, we can do advanced reporting on the product matrix. And in fact, in the upcoming release, we're going to store these properties and values in extension fields that can be propagated to the reporting engine to do even more advanced reporting by SKU. Next, we're going to maintain the price list using a mass update so that whenever you put a SKU on a sales order, it'll have the correct price. So first we'll select the products, then we'll update it, and we'll actually do a second update for the large shirts that may actually cost you more and hence you should charge more. And then we'll go ahead and release this price list after we've got the list finalized. So we're going to navigate over to the price lists, and we're going to create one that's specific for the product category we just created. That way you can have a separate price list for each product category, and this one will be called the soccer shirts. So after selecting the product category, we're going to add all the items in that product category. Now the one item we don't need is the template material. So we're going to remove the template material and then move forward with updating all of the generated products. So we'll select all of them for sake of creating a base price. As you can see, we're doing a mass change, so we don't need to do this one by one. So in this case, we're going to say the base price for a soccer shirt is $20. Okay, now what we're going to do is take a look at the larges and add a 10% premium just because the material costs a little bit more. And so we'll select all the larges using the values in the product ID that were generated from the product matrix generator. Okay, so now we have all the larges, which are 12. And we're going to apply that 10% premium. So down at the bottom of the screen, you see that we're allowed to add that 10%. So now the final price will be $22. Now, for sake of this example, we're going to pretend that all the other shirts are the same base price. The smalls, mediums are just $20. And that's the base price. So we're going to go ahead and release this price list. So now it's available for use on sales orders. So what we did is we selected the products by using the product category for soccer shirts. We updated the base price for this product category for all the products in this product matrix. And then we went and applied a 10% premium for just the larges. And finally, we released a price list for use on sales orders. Now, in upcoming releases of this product matrix generator, we're going to be able to select by the product matrix or by the associated properties and values. So this will make the updates of the sales prices even more efficient. We're also going to include the option to include pricing in the product matrix. That will allow you to maintain prices for each SKU instead of for the entire matrix, how you just saw. And part of that upcoming functionality will include the price additions, similar to what you saw here, but maintained within the product matrix. For example, larges can have that 10% premium built into the model. Next, we're going to modify the product attributes, again using a mass update or a bulk upload with an Excel tool. The first update will be the valuation that you saw earlier that was not activated. So that's a fairly simple update. Next, we'll bulk upload the inventory costs using an Excel tool. Now, these costs can be driven by the purchasing process, but sometimes you want to build in some overhead, the labor cost to move the product, or the overhead required for storing the product in a warehouse. Finally, we'll upload the vendor list prices to make the purchasing process more efficient if you've got a known agreement with a vendor with specified prices. So first, we're going to go to the materials view again and view all the soccer shirts in that product category. Oops. So enter the 430 in the product category ID, which is the soccer shirts category. And we'll select every material except we don't need the template material. Just the 48 materials that were generated. And then we'll use the mass change capabilities. And we'll switch over to the valuation section of the materials and simply activate that. Now keep in mind, in future releases, this will no longer be necessary, but in the meantime, it's a fairly efficient workaround to update product matrix in bulk by using this mass update capability. So you'll see that the other areas are activated, but the valuation is not. And so we'll specify the account determination, the trade goods, so that we know which GL account the costs hit, the costing method, and we'll activate it. And we'll apply that change to all the items. And now those have been saved. Okay, so what we did was a mass update for the valuation types, and the next thing we're going to do is a bulk upload for inventory costs. To do that, we're going to use an Excel tool. So in order to use that Excel tool, we want to export these materials so we have a list of the generated product IDs to make it easy to copy and paste those. And so we'll copy and paste everything except for the first template material. And I've got the template downloaded already for the inventory costs. So it's a very simple copy and paste. Then we copy the other attributes, such as the company and the business residence. And we also want to set the cost of this. And right now it's going to be set at $8. In fact, what we'll do for examples, we'll build in some overhead costs. So we'll make it $10. It includes the labor and the warehousing overhead costs. Okay, finally, we're going to commit this data to Business ByDesign using that Excel integration. And as you can see, we're actually logged into ByDesign within Excel using this Business ByDesign tab in Excel. It's a simple download and installation to add that to your Excel installation. And now all 48 records are committed to Business ByDesign. To see that, we'll go to the inventory valuation. And first of all, I'll let you know where you can download that template. Import unit cost from Microsoft Excel. That's how you download the Excel template that you just saw. And we'll go ahead and see the results. Again, selecting by product category ID. And we see the $10 for all the generated materials is now set as the inventory cost. Finally, we want to also update the vendor list prices. Again, this is going to be using a bulk upload, very similar to uploading the inventory costs. So we go to the list prices area. And I'll show you how to download that template, list prices from Microsoft Excel. But I've actually already downloaded that template. And so I'm going to show you the upload. Right now there's no list prices for that product category. So what we'll do is take, again, that list of materials. We'll copy that list of product IDs. And we'll simply paste that into our Excel template for updating the vendor list prices. And this is for our supplier AMS. So we'll copy that and all the other attributes required, like the date range and the price. Price is going to be $8, which does include that $2 overhead we built into the inventory cost. It's going to be the soccer shirt cost. And we'll go ahead and upload that data to Business ByDesign. Now keep in mind that this upload tool uses the same logon credentials as you have when you log into the front end. So you simply provide your user ID and your password. And if you have access to this work center, the list prices, then you should be able to do exactly what I'm doing here, uploading them by Excel. And we see some friendly warning message, no error messages, which means everything has gone in just fine. And if we refresh this, you'll see that these list prices are now displayed in Business ByDesign. One thing I'll point out is the valid from date has to be today, and that's in fact what the warnings were about, is I had a valid from date before today. So the system automatically set today as the valid from date. Okay, so we've seen it's fairly easy to modify product attributes using the mass update. In the case of the valuation types, we use the mass update in the system. In the case of inventory cost and vendor list prices, we use the Excel upload tool. Now, in upcoming releases of the product matrix generator, we're going to be able to select these items by the product matrix and by the associated values or properties associated to that product matrix. And that'll make the update, especially in the mass updates, even easier. The mass update that's embedded in the system. We'll also plan on having costing information in the product matrix itself. The importance of that is that we can actually do base costs and also the cost additions or multipliers by SKU instead of manually doing that in Excel. Okay, last but not least is to actually use the product matrix. So what we're going to do is create a sales order and select some items from the matrix. We're going to check the ATP per SKU, which is where the value comes by having that SKU as a product in the database, especially if you maintain inventory and you plan around each SKU. And finally, we're going to release the order. While I'm doing the selection in the sales order, you'll see that the type ahead capability works quite well with the way we've named the product IDs. So let's go ahead and show you creating that sales order, and we'll use that type ahead feature to select the items in the product matrix that the customer wants. In this case, the customer is Silver Star. And I know it's the T430, the soccer shirt. In fact, I could just type soccer shirt. So several different ways of doing this. We could do a star LG, and that'll list all the larges. If we want to do a particular player, we could do 34. And say they want the red. We can select red. So fairly easy to select this using the type ahead and the filters. And let's say they have an order for 100. And they want 100 mediums as well. So T430, star MED, star 34. We'll see all the different colors. We can select red. And 100. Now here's the availability to promise. And so each of these can have availability based on min-maxes, the planning, and whether or not they're in inventory. And so when you purchase these, there's a certain amount of lead time, and knowing the requested date here, the system will tell you whether or not this product can be delivered. In this case, it's confirmed. And we've released the order. So what we did was select the products from the matrix using the type ahead feature. We checked the ATP per SKU. That availability to promise, for example, for a large versus a medium. That depends whether you have it in inventory or whether the purchase orders will be delivered on time before their requested date. And last, we went ahead and released the order. This allows us to track the revenue and availability per SKU. And I also wanted to mention that upcoming functionality will include automatic selection by the product matrix and its associated properties and values, making the addition of many items more efficient. For example, if they wanted one of each size, and one of each color, and one of each player, a lot of 100 for each, we're planning to automate that in the selection of these items in the sales order. And so now we're going to show you how to create purchase orders when you're running low on stock, or when you have an alert that your minimum has been reached, or whether your planning has created a purchase request based on your demand planning. So we're going to show how to create one of these purchase orders manually by selecting the product from the matrix, much like we did with the sales order, using the type ahead capability. Then we're going to make sure we maintain the lead time per SKU, and then release the order. Okay, so we are going to create a new purchase order. And that's for supplier AMS, the same supplier we uploaded that price list for. And let's say that last order drove us a little low on those products. So the T430, Here's the large, player 34, and it was the red. So we're going to go ahead and reorder 1,000 from our vendor and tell them which warehouse to ship it to. And we also want to make sure the system knows the correct cost assignment, which is, in this case, a particular cost center. And the other item also is running low, the T430. And I know it's player 34, so I can see all those for player 34. And it was the medium red. So we'll select 1,000 medium reds. And we see our list price of 8 rolls in correctly, and we can go ahead and order. Okay, so we've seen how to create a purchase order, selecting the products using the type ahead capability to easily select any particular item in the matrix. We've taken the default lead times per SKU, but now the system knows for each SKU what the lead time is if the largest may take longer than the mediums, for example. And then finally, we release the order. This allows us to track the cost as well per SKU. And I should mention that our upcoming release will include the automatic selection by matrix or by its associated properties or values, so that if you have to order all of the items in a matrix, for example, then that will be an automated process rather than having to use a type ahead capability. And that concludes the demonstration of the product matrix demonstration. For any more questions or answers, please contact Bramasol. We're also on the SAP store, and you can contact me directly at kcarter@bramasol.com.